Bandeham Shri Guru Shiyata Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishikam Vitamscha Om Jnana Timarandasya Gyanajana Shalakya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurva Bhistam Supurakam Guraganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanagam Govindabhidam Ujwalam Varatanam Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwagurun Shah Divyad Bhagavat Prem Noe Bijapradam Devam Divyatanam Suchandavananam Balarkachelan Shitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Banditam Shubhanam Madeka Sharanam Nyashishwara Shidaram Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is Madhya-lila, chapter 19. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Srila Rupa Goswami. Verse number 1. Vrindavaniyam Ramakeli Vartam Kalena Luptam Nija Shakti Mutka Sancharya Rupe Vyaranot Punasa Prabhur Vido Prag Eva Loka Shrishtim. Before the creation of this cosmic manifestation, the Lord enlightened the heart of Lord Brahma with the details of the creation and manifested the Vedic knowledge. In exactly the same way, the Lord, being anxious to revive the Vrindaban pastimes of Lord Krishna, impregnated the heart of Rupa Goswami with spiritual potency. By this potency, Srila Rupa Goswami could revive the activities of Krishna in Vrindaban, activities almost lost to memory. In this way, he spread Krishna consciousness throughout the world. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Sri Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of the Lord. Shri Rupa Sanatana Rahe Ramakeli Grame Prabhure Miliya Gela Apana Babane. Upon meeting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the village of Ramakeli, the brothers Rupa and Sanatan returned to their homes. Duibai Vishaya Tyager Upaya Srijila Bodhana Diya Dui Brahmane Varila. The two brothers devised a means whereby they could give up their material activities. For this purpose, they appointed two Brahmins and paid them a large amount of money. Krishna Mantre Karaila Dui Purascharana Achirat Paibare Chaitanya Charana. The Brahmins performed religious ceremonies and chanted the holy name of Krishna so that the two brothers might attain shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Rupa Gosaitabe Nokate Bariya Apanara Gariaila Bahudana Loya. At this time, Sri Rupa Goswami returned home, taking with him large quantities of riches loaded in boats. Brahmana Vaishnava Dila Tara Ardadane Ek Choti Danak Dila Kutumba Bharane. Srila Rupa Goswami divided the wealth that he had brought back home. He gave 50% in charity to Brahmins and Vaishnavas and 25% to his relatives. Danda Banda Lagi Choti Sanchaya Korila Balo Balo Viprastani Stapya Rakila. He kept 1/4 of his wealth with a respectable Brahmin. He kept this for his personal safety because he was expecting some legal complications. Gode Rohila Mudra Dashahajare Sanatana Vyaya Kore Roke Mudigare. He deposited 10,000 coins, which were later spent by Sri Sanatan Goswami in the custody of a local Bengali grocer. And I believe these are gold coins. Sri Rupa Shunila Prabhu Niladri Gaman Manapate Jabin Prabhu Sri Vrindaban. Srila Rupa Goswami heard that Mahaprabhu had returned to Jagannath Puri and was preparing to go to Vrindaban through the forest. Rupa Gosai Nilachale Pataila Duijan Prabhu Jabe Vrindavana Koranagaman. Sri Rupa Goswami sent 2 people to Jagannath Puri to find out when Mahaprabhu would depart for Vrindaban. Shigra Shimoritara Diva Samachar Shunyatad Anu Rupa Koriba Vyabahar. Sri Rupa Goswami told the 2 men, "You are to return quickly and let me know when he will depart. Then I shall make the proper arrangements." Eta Sanatana Gosai Babe Maneman Rajamore Priti Kore Se Morabandan. While Sanatana Goswami was in Godadesh, he was thinking, "The Nawab is very pleased with me. I certainly have an obligation." Kona mate raja jadi more kruda hoy, tabe avyahati hoy korilun nisjoy. If the Nawab somehow or other becomes angry with me, I shall be greatly relieved. That is my conclusion. So Rupa Sanatana Goswami, he's thinking how he can get out of his entanglements with the government. So he's thinking, as long as the Nawab, the Muslim king, is happy with me, then he's always going to depend on me. But if somehow or other he becomes angry with me, then I can break that relationship which is holding me to the government service, because he wants to go with Mahaprabhu. If the Nawab somehow or other becomes angry with me, I shall be greatly relieved. That is my conclusion. Avastyara Chadmakore Rohe Nijagare Rajakarya Chadilana Jai Rajadware. On the pretext of bad health, Sanatana Goswami remained home. Thus he gave up government service and did not go to the royal court. Lobikayastagan Rajakarya Kore Apane Sagrihe Kore Shastrera Bichare. The greedy masters of his clerical and secretarial staff performed the government duties while Sanatan personally remained home and discussed the revealed scriptures. So his clerical and secretarial staff maintained everything going because they had some ambition to improve their job. Meantime, Sanatana Goswami is staying at home and he is hearing the scriptures, but he's not attending to his duties. Bhattacharya Pandita Bhattacharya Pandita Bisha Trishta Loya Bhagavata Vichara Koran Sabate Basya. Sri Sanatana Goswami used to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam in an assembly of 20 to 30 learned Brahmin scholars. Aradin Godeshwara Sange Ekajan Achambite Gosai Shabate Koila Agaman. While Sanatana Goswami was studying Srimad Bhagavatam in the assembly of learned Brahmins, one day the Nawab of Bengal and another person suddenly appeared. Suddenly they came there. So here, the Muslim king is called Godeshwara, the Lord of Bengal, because he is the one who's controlling all of Bengal. He's the Muslim king. Patsaha dekiya sabe sambrame utila acham sambrame asana diya rajare. Vasaila. As soon as all the Brahmins and Sanatan Goswami saw the Nawab appear, they all stood up and respectfully gave him a sitting place to honor him. So the Muslim government is like, they're like occupying Bengal, so they control the government. Raja Kohe Tomarastane, Vaidya Patailun, Vaidya Kohe Vyarinahi, Shusta Jadakilun. The Nawab said, I sent my physician to you, and he has reported that you are not diseased. As far as he could see, you are completely healthy. Amaraje Kichukarya Sabtomalaya Karyachari Rohila Tumi Garete Basya. I'm depending on you to carry out so many of my activities, but you have given up your governmental duties to sit here at home. Morajata Karya Kama Saba Koilanash Ki Tomara Ridoye Ache Kohomorapash. You have spoiled all my activities. What is your intention? Please tell me frankly. So as I said, the Muslim government, they're like invaders. And before, Sanatan Goswami was like acting as a minister in that government. And I'm sure he did so also to preserve some of the safety of the people in Bengal, because at least he has a sense of providing some, and the government is conquered. The Muslims have conquered Bengal, and they're ruling Bengal, and Sanatan Goswami is trying to see that the country continues. So, but now Sanatan Goswami wants to leave that situation. He wants to be with Mahaprabhu. So he's not going in and not doing any governmental duties like helping. So now the Nawab says, you have spoiled all my activities. What is your intention? Please tell me frankly. Sanatana kohe nahiyama hoitekam ara ek janadiya kora samadan. Sanatan Goswami replied, you can no longer expect any service from me. Please arrange for someone else to tend to the management. Tabe kruda hoya raja kohe arbar tomara borabai kore dashubya bahar. Becoming angry with Sanatan Goswami, the Nawab said, your elder brother is acting just like a plunder. Now, to understand this, you have to remember that Sanatan Goswami, of the three brothers, Sanatan, Rupa, and Anupama, Sanatan Goswami is the elder brother. So obviously this elder brother refers to the Muslim king, where he says, becoming angry with Sanatan Goswami, the Nawab said, your elder brother is acting just like a plunder, referring to himself. Jiva Bahu Mari Koila Chakla Sabnash Etatumi Koila Mora Sarvakaryanas. By killing many living entities, your elder brother has destroyed all Bengal. Now here you are destroying all my plans. So he's like saying, the Nawab is like saying, I've come here as a conqueror, and I'm depending on you to keep the state running, and to help the people. I'm depending on you to provide, so to speak, that cushion. And then, by killing many living entities, your elder brother has destroyed all Bengal. Now here, you are destroying all my plans. Sanatan kohe tumi swatantra godeshwar jay dosha kore deho tarafalo. Sanatan Goswami said, you are the supreme ruler of Bengal and are completely independent. Whenever someone commits a fault, you punish him accordingly. Etashuni Godeshwara Uti Garegela Pailaba Bole Sanatan Erebandila. Hearing this, the Nawab of Bengal stood up and returned to his home. He ordered the arrest of Sanatan Goswami so that he would not be able to leave. So first the Nawab said, "You're ruining all my plans," and then Sanatan replied, "Well, you're the ruler here, so if you want to punish me, punish me." He's not saying, okay, he's saying when someone commits a fault, you punish him accordingly. It's a cultured way of speaking, but he's saying, if you want to punish me, but I'm not going to cooperate. Edashuni Godeshwaru te garagela Vallabha bole Sanatan here bandila. Hearing this, the Nawab of Bengal stood up and returned to his home. He ordered the arrest of Sanatan Goswami so that he would not be able to leave. Hinakale Gela Raja Udiya Marite Sanatane Kohe Tumi Shalomoras Shate. At this time, the Nawab was going to attack the province of Orissa, and he told Sanatan Goswami, "Come along with me. Teho Kohe Jabe Tumi Devataya Dukadite Mora Shakti Nahi Tomar Sangijaite." Sanatan Goswami replied, "We are going to Orissa to give pain to the Lord. For this reason, I am powerless to go with you." Tabetare bandi raki korela gaman etanila chala hoite Prabhu chalila Vrindaban. The Nawab again arrested Sanatan Goswami and kept him in prison. At this time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu departed for Vrindaban from Jagannath Puri. Tabi se dui chara rupa thai aila Vrindavana chalila Prabhu asya kohila. The two persons who went to Jagannath Puri to inquire about the Lord's departure returned and informed Rupa Goswami that the Lord had already departed for Vrindaban. And he'd gone through Jharkhand and he was departed for Vrindaban. So Sanatan Goswami is in jail, and Rupa Goswami, he's also planning on departing, because he wants to be with Mahaprabhu, and he's left some money with a grocer, quantity of money to help Sanatan Goswami in his predicament. So, Shunya Sri Rupa Likila Sanatanatai Vrindavana Chalila Sri Chaitanya Gosai. Upon receiving this message from his two messengers, Rupa Goswami immediately wrote a letter to Sanatan Goswami saying that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had departed for Vrindaban. So, I mean, obviously Rupa and Sanatan Goswami are now surrendered and completely dependent on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they're not so worried about their predicament because they know that they have this relationship with the Lord, and they just have to get out of the entanglement in which they found themselves because they were working in the Muslim government. Upon receiving this message from his two messengers, Rupa Goswami immediately wrote a letter to Sanatan Goswami saying that Mahaprabhu had departed for Vrindaban. Shunya Sri Rupa Likila Sanatanatai Vrindavana Chalila Sri Chaitanya Gosai Amidui Bai Chalilana Tahare Milite Tumi Jaiche Taiche Chuti Aisha Tahanoite. In his letter to Sanatan Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami wrote, "We two brothers are starting out to go see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You must also somehow or other get released and come meet us." So the two brothers herein mentioned are Rupa Goswami and his younger brother, Anupama Malik. Rupa Goswami was informing Sanatan Goswami that he should join him and his younger brother. Dasha Sahasramudra Tata Ache Mudistane Tahadiya Kara Shigra Atma Vimochane. Rupa Goswami further informed Srila Sanatan Goswami, "I have left a deposit of 10,000 gold coins with the grocer. Use that money to get out of prison. Jaiche Taiche Chuti Tumi Aisha Vrindaban Etaliki Duibai Korela Gaman." I like this word here. Somehow or other, Jaichi Taichi. Jaichi Taichi. Somehow or other, get yourself released and come to Vrindaban. After writing this, the two brothers, Rupa Goswami and Anupama, went to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anupama Malikatara Nama Sri Vallabha, Rupa Goswami Chotabai, Parama Vaishnava. Rupa Goswami's younger brother was a great devotee whose actual name was Sri Vallabha, but he was given the name of Anupama Malik. Tahaloya Rupa Gosai Prayage Adaila Mahaprabhu Tahan Shuni Ananditoila. Sri Rupa Goswami and Anupama Malik went to Prayag, and they were very pleased to hear the news that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there. Prabhu Chali Jachin Bindu Madhava Darshane Laka Laka Lok Aishe Prabhu Ramilane. At Prayag, Mahaprabhu went to see the temple of Bindu Madhava, and many hundreds of thousands of people followed him just to meet him. Keho Kande, Keho Hase, Keho Nachigai, Krishna Krishna, Bole Keho Gadagadi Jai. Some of the people following the Lord were crying, some were laughing, some dancing, and some chanting. Indeed, some of them were rolling on the ground, exclaiming, Krishna, Krishna. Ganga Jamuna Prayag, Narila Dubai Te, Prabhu Dubai La Krishna Primera Banyate. Prayag is located at the confluence of two rivers, the Ganges and the Jamuna. Although these rivers were not able to flood Prayag with water, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inundated the whole area with the waves of ecstatic love for Krishna. Bidadeki Duibai Rahila Nirjane Prabhura Abesha Hoila Madhavadarshane. Seeing the great crowd, the two brothers remained standing in a secluded place. They could see that Mahaprabhu was ecstatic to see Lord Bindu Madhava. Prema Beshe Nachi Prabhu Haridwani Kori. Prema Beshe Nachi Prabhu Haridwani Kori. Urdva Bahu Kori Bole Balu Hari Hari. The Lord was loudly chanting the holy name of Hari, dancing in ecstatic love and raising his arms. He asked everyone to chant, Hari, Hari, Prabhura Madhima, Prabhura Mahima Deki, Loke Chamatkar, Prayage Prabhura Adaila, Nare Barni Bar. Everyone was astonished to see the greatness of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Indeed, I cannot properly describe the pastimes of the Lord at Prayag. Dakinatya Vipra Sane Ache Parichai Se Vipra Nimantriya Nila Nijaloy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had made an acquaintance with a Brahmin from Deccan in South India. And that Brahmin invited him for meals and took him to his place. Vipra Grihe Ashi Prabhu Nibrete Basila Sri Rupa Vallabha Duhe Asya Melila. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sitting in a solitary place in the home of that Deccan Brahmin, Rupa Goswami and Sri Vallabha, Anupama Malik, came to meet him. Dui Gucha Trina Duhe Dashane Dariya Prabhu Deki Dure Pade Dandavadhoya. Seeing the Lord from a distance, the two brothers put two clumps of straw between their teeth and immediately fell down on the ground like rods, offering their obeisances. Nana Shloka Padi Nahe Pade Bar Bar Prabhu Deke Prema Besha Hoila Hoila Duhar. Both brothers were overwhelmed with ecstatic emotion, and reciting various Sanskrit verses, they stood up and fell down again and again. Shri Rupa Dekiya Prabhur Prasanna Hoilaman Uta Rupa Aisha Bolila Bachan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased to see Srila Rupa Goswami, and he told him, stand up, my dear Rupa, come here. Krishnera Karuna Kichu Najai Varnane Vishaya Kupa Hoite Kadila Toma Duijane. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, it is not possible to describe Krishna's mercy, for he has delivered you both from the well of material enjoyment. So this here, which follows, is a very nice analogy. He says, Krishnera Karuna Kichuna Jai Varanane Vishaya Kupa Hoite Kadila Toma Duijane. Mahaprabhu said, it is not possible to describe Krishna's mercy, for he has delivered you both from the well of material enjoyment. Name Bhaktas Chaturvedi Mad Bhaktas Shvapacha Priya Tasmai Deyam Tatograyam Nacha Pujo Yatayaham. Lord Krishna said, even though a person is a very learned scholar of the Sanskrit Vedic literatures, he is not accepted as my devotee unless he is pure in devotional service. Even though a person is born in a family of dog eaters, he is very dear to me if he is a pure devotee who has no motive to enjoy fruitive activities or mental opportunities. Indeed, all respect should be given to him, and whatever he offers should be accepted. Such devotees are as worshipable as I am. Shloka pare duhare koila lingan kripate duharam mataya darila charan. After reciting this verse, Mahaprabhu embraced the two brothers, and out of his causeless mercy, he placed his feet on their heads. Prabhu kripa pana duhe dui hata judi dina haya stuti kore vinoy achari. After receiving the Lord's causeless mercy, the two brothers folded their hands and in great humility offered the following prayers to the Lord. Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Goratvishe Nama. Mahaprabhu immediately O most munificent incarnation, you are Krishna himself, appearing as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani, and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Yogyana matam bhuvanam dayalor ulagayan api akarot pramatam saprema sampat shudayad bhutetam. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We offer our respectful obeisances unto that merciful Supreme Personality of Godhead who has converted all three worlds which were mad by ignorance and saved them from their diseased condition by making them mad with the nectar from the treasure house of love of God. Let us take full shelter of that personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, whose activities are wonderful. Tabe Mahaprabhu tare nikate basila sanataner partak koho tohare puchila. Tabe Mahaprabhu tare nikate basila sanatera bartakaha tahare puchila. After this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat them down by his side and asked them, "What news do you have of Sanatan?" Rupa Kohe Teho Bandi Hoy Rajagare Tumijadi Udara Tabe Hoibe Udare. Rupa Goswami replied, After this, Mahaprabhu sat them down by his side and asked them, "What news do you have of Sanatan?" Rupa Kohan Teho Bandi Hoy Rajagare Tumi Judi Udara Tabe Hoibe Udare. Rupa Goswami replied, "Sanatan has now been arrested by the government of Nawab Hussain Shah. If you kindly save him, he can be liberated from that entanglement." Prabhu Kohe Sanatanera Ayache Mochan Achirat Ama Saha Hoibe Milan. Mahaprabhu immediately replied, "Sanatan has already been released from his confinement, and he will very soon meet with me." So Rupa Goswami says he's been arrested, and if you give him his mercy, he can get out of his entanglement, in which case Mahaprabhu says he's already been released. And Sanatan has already been released from his confinement, and he will very soon meet with me. So instantaneous mercy. You could say Mahaprabhu's mercy was there even before he asked. Madhyana korite bipra prabhure kohila Rupa Gosai se dibasa tahai rohila. The Brahman then requested Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to accept his lunch. Rupa Goswami also remained there that day. Bhattacharya Dui Baye Nimantrana Koila Prabhura Sesha Prashara Patra Dui Bhai Paila. Balabhadra Bhattacharya invited the two brothers to take lunch also. The remnants of food from the plate of Mahaprabhu were offered to them. Triveni Upara Prabhur Vashagarastan Dui Bhai Vasakoila Prabhu Sanidan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu selected his residence beside the confluence of the Ganges and the Jamuna, a place called Triveni. The two brothers, Rupa Goswami and Sri Vallabha, selected their residence near the Lord's. Sekali Vallabha Bhatta Rohe Adaila Grame Mahaprabhu Aila Shuni Aila Tarastane. At that time, Sri Vallabha Bhatta was staying at Adaila Gram. And when he heard that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived, he went to his place to see him. Teho Dandava Koila Prabhu Koila Alingan Duijane Krishna Kata Hoila Katakan. Vallabha Bhattacharya offered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu his obeisances, and the Lord embraced him. After that, they discussed topics about Krishna for some time. Krishna Kataya Prabhur Mahaprema Utaila Bhattera Sankoche Prabhu Samvarana Koila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt great ecstatic love when they began discussing Krishna, but the Lord checked his feelings because he felt shy before Vallabha Bhatta. Antare gara gara prema nahe samvaran deke chamatkara hoila Vallabha Bhatterman. Although the Lord restrained himself externally, ecstatic love raged within. There was no checking that. Vallabha Bhatta was astonished to detect this. Tabe Bhatta Mahaprabhure Nimantran Kaila Mahaprabhu Duibai Tahare Milaila. Thereafter, Vallabha Bhatta invited Mahaprabhu for lunch, and the Lord introduced the two brothers, Rupa and Vallabha Bhatta. Thereafter, Vallabha Bhatta invited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for lunch, and the Lord introduced the two brothers, Rupa and Vallabha, to him. Duibai dura hoite bumete paria bhate dandavat koila ati. Duibai dura hoite bumete paria bhate dandavat koila ati dina hoya. From a distance, the brothers Rupa Goswami and Sri Vallabha fell on the ground and offered obeisances to Vallabha Bhatta with great humility. Bhatta mili barijai duhe palaya dure asprisya pamara muina chuniya more. When Vallabha Bhattacharya walked toward them, they ran away to a more distant place. Rupa Goswami said, I am untouchable and most sinful. Please do not touch me. So Srila Prabhupada would remark, he said, that Rupa Sanatan were born in a Brahmin family, but they had taken employment in the Muslim government, so they had lost their position, or you could say they lost their caste within the Hindu society. So when Vallabha Bhatta goes to approach Rupa Goswami and his younger brother Nupa Mamalik or Sri Vallabha, Rupa Goswami says, he retreats and he says, I am untouchable and most sinful. Please do not touch me. Bhattere Vishmoy Hoila Prabhu Harshaman, Bhattere Kohila Prabhu Tara Vivaran. Vallabha Bhattacharya was very much surprised at this. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, however, was very pleased, and he therefore spoke to him this description of Rupa Goswami. Ihona Sparshya, Iho Jatiati Hina, Vaidika, Yagyika, Tumi, Kulina, Prabhina. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, don't touch him, for he belongs to a very low caste. You are a follower of Vedic principles and are a well-experienced performer of many sacrifices. You also belong to the aristocracy. Generally, Brahmins are puffed up with false prestige because they belong to the aristocracy and perform many Vedic sacrifices. In South India especially, this fastidious position is very prominent. At any rate, this was the case 500 years ago. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually started a revolution against this Brahminical system by inaugurating the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. By this chanting, one can be delivered regardless of caste, creed, color, or social position. Whoever chants the Hare Krishna mantra is immediately purified due to the transcendental position of devotional service. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is here hinting to Vallabha Bhattacharya that an exalted Brahmin who makes sacrifices and follows Vedic principles should not neglect a person who is engaged in devotional service by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Actually, Rupa Goswami did not belong to a lower caste. He was from a highly aristocratic Brahmin family, but due to his association with the Muslim Nawab, he was considered fallen and was excommunicated from Brahmin society. However, due to his advanced devotional service, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted him as a Goswami. Vallabha Bhattacharya knew all this. One who is a devotee is above caste and creed, yet Vallabha Bhattacharya felt himself prestigious. The present head of the Vallabha Bhattacharya Sampradaya of Bombay is known Dikshita Maharaj. He is very friendly to our movement, and whenever we meet him, this learned Brahmin scholar highly praises the activities of the Hare Krishna movement. He is a life member of our society, and although he is a learned scholar in the Brahminical caste tradition, he accepts our society and considers its members bona fide devotees of Lord Vishnu. So, a little bit of a parenthetical remark by Srila Prabhupada, but he's talking about, he mentions that Vallabha Bhatta feels himself to be prestigious. Okay. Duharan muke nirantara Krishna nama shuni bhata kohe prabhur kichu ingite bangijani. Hearing the holy name constantly vibrated by the two brothers, Vallabha Bhattacharya could understand the hints of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Duharamuke Krishnanam Koriche Nartan Edui Aramanahe Hoy Sarvutam. Vallabha Bhattacharya said, since these two are constantly chanting the holy name of Krishna, how can they be untouchable? On the contrary, they are most exalted. Aho Bhatta Swapachoto Gariyan Yajivagre Vartate Namatubhyam Tepustapaste Jehuvuj Shashnurarya Brahmanuchur Nama Grinandiyete. Although Vallabha Bhatta then recited the following verse, my dear Lord, one who always keeps your holy name on his tongue becomes greater than an initiated Brahmin. Although he may be born in a family of dog-eaters and may therefore by material calculation be the lowest among men, he is still glorious. This is the wonderful effect of chanting the holy name of the Lord. It is therefore concluded that one who chants the holy name of the Lord should be understood to have performed all kinds of austerities and great sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas. He has already taken his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage, and he has studied all the Vedas and is actually an Aryan. Okay. And the word Aryan here means spiritualists, those who are following following the principles of a God realization. Those persons are considered to be Aryas. Shuni Mahaprabhu Tare Bahu Prashamshila Prema Vishta Hoya Shloka Padite Lagila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased to hear Vallabha Bhatta quoting from Shastra about the position of a Brahmin. Because Rupa and Rupa and Anupama had retreated when Vallabha went near them. And they said, don't touch us because we're untouchable. And then Vallabha Bhatta said, how can they be untouchable when they are constantly chanting the holy names of the Lord? And then Mahaprabhu appreciated that. He also appreciated that Vallabha Bhatta had said this very beautiful verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Ho Bhatta Swapacho Togariyan Yajjivagre Vartate Namatubhyam Tepus Tapaste Jehuvu Shashnurarya Brahmanuchur Nama Grinanti Yete. My dear Lord, one who always keeps your holy name on his tongue becomes greater than an initiated Brahmin. Although he may be born in a family of dog-eaters and may therefore by material calculation be the lowest among men, he's still glorious. This is the wonderful effect of chanting the holy name of the Lord. It is therefore concluded that one who chants the holy name of the Lord should be understood to have performed all kinds of austerities and great sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas. He has already taken his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. He has studied all the Vedas, and he actually is an Aryan. Shuni Mahaprabhu Tare Bahu Prashams Shuni Mahaprabhu Tare Bahu Prashamshila Premavishta Hoya Shlok Padite Lagila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased to hear Vallabha Bhatta quoting from Shastra about the position of a devotee. The Lord praised him personally and felt ecstatic love of Godhead began. The Lord praised him personally and feeling ecstatic love of Godhead began to quote many verses from Shastra. Mahaprabhu was pleased to hear Vallabha Bhatta glorifying the devotees, and Mahaprabhu then himself began to quote so many verses glorifying the position of the devotee. Shuchi Sadbhakti Dipagni Dagda Durjati Kalmasha Svapako Pi Budai Shlagyo Navedagyo Pi Nashtika Shuchi Shad Bhakti Dipagni Dagda Durjati Kalmasha Swapakopi Budai Shlagyo Naveda Gyopi Nashtika. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, a person who has the pure characteristics of a Brahman due to devotional service, which is like a blazing fire, burning to ashes all the sinful reactions of past lives, is certainly saved from the consequences of sinful acts, such as taking birth in a lower family. Even though he may be born in a family of dog-eaters, he is recognized by learned scholars. But although a person may be a learned scholar in Vedic knowledge, he is not recognized if he is an atheist. Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya Jati Shastram Japastapa Apranasheva Duhasya Mandaram Lokaranjanam. For a person devoid of devotional service, birth in a great family or nation, knowledge of the revealed scriptures, performance of austerities and penances, and chanting of Vedic mantras are all like ornaments on a dead body. Such ornaments simply serve the concocted pleasure of the general populace. So Mahaprabhu is saying all these things pale before devotion. He says, for a person devoid of devotional service, birth in a great family or nation, knowledge of the revealed scriptures, performance of austerities and penances, and chanting of Vedic mantras are all like ornaments on a dead body. Such ornaments simply serve the concocted pleasures of the general populace. So, compared to devotion, even these respected attainments, like someone who doesn't have devotion, even birth in a rich family or a pious family, knowledge of the revealed scriptures, performance of austerities and penances, and chanting of Vedic mantras are all like ornaments on a dead body. Such ornaments simply serve the concocted pleasures of the general populace. Prabhura Premavesha Ara Prabhava Bhakti Sar Sondar Jadi Deki Bhatter Hoila Chamatkar. When he saw the Lord's ecstatic love, Vallabha Bhatta was certainly very much astonished. He was also astonished by the Lord's knowledge and the essence of devotional service, as well as by his personal beauty and influence. When Mahaprabhu, when he saw the Lord's ecstatic love, Vallabha Bhattacharya was certainly very much astonished. He was also astonished by the Lord's knowledge of the essence of devotional service as well as by his personal beauty and influence. So I'm going to stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama. Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama. Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan. Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Garadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Garadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. H.I. Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan. H.I. Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan. Jahoite Vignana Shabista Puran. Jahoite Vignana Shabista Puran. H.I. Gosai Jarmui Taradas. H.I. Gosai Jarmui Taradas. Tasabar Padarenu Mora Panchagras. Tasabar Padarenu Mora Panchagras. Tader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas. Tader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas. Janame Janame More Abilas. Janame More Abilas. H.I. Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas. H.I. Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas. Radha Krishna Nitya-lila Korila Prakash. Radha Krishna Nitya-lila Korila Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majjayaman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majjayaman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamodas. Nam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamodas. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitya Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvajaka Charyashta Tarasadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvajaka Charyashta Tarasadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Rakshira Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishoredas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premsigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Vrindaban Das Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavad Ki Jai. Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Jai Om Vishnupad Vishvavaranya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Brinda Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai. Sri Namadev Dham Ki Jai. Sri Mayapur Ki Jai. Saparshada Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Sriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Sri Koladvi Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Sevashram Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Madharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Sri Vrindaban Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Shyam Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.